Hello, creatives. My name is Matthias, known as that Matthias Kid on Instagram, or TMK for short. I want to welcome everyone to Dreaming in Red by Heart's Cove, a podcast where dreaming in red means dreaming with energy, passion, strength, courage, and creativity. We talk with creatives about the sacrifices they have made to reach their own success and look to inspire many other creatives around the globe. Today, I am excited to introduce Elaine from Los Angeles, a concert photographer primarily. And Elaine, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. It's been a busy day, but I'm here and I'm excited to have you here to talk to you about many different things. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
First and foremost, just to kind of like break the ice, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, what you like to do in your free time, maybe things other than photography. Just kind of give us a little brief introduction to yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually originally from Indonesia. I moved out to Boston for college like 3 years ago, and I just moved out to LA like 6 months ago to pursue photography more full time. And yeah, my free time probably like I love to do cooking and just like I have two bunnies at the moment and I just love playing with them, so that's pretty much it, I guess.
That is cool. You said from Indonesia, correct?
Yeah, I'm
So
from
you do
Indonesia.
you speak another language?
Yeah, I speak Indonesian.
Is it fluent? Would you say like fluent both?
I think now I'm more fluent in English. I used to be more fluent in Indonesia, but
Mhm.
then moving out here, I haven't spoken Indonesian in so long, so I feel like I'm losing it a bit.
Right. Yeah, that tends to happen. So I'm Mexican and now I live here. I actually speak both languages as well, and I would say I actually speak them both pretty fluently still. I mean,
Oh,
growing up in like my parents kind of just always speak Spanish, so it helps to use it on a daily,
mm,
basis. So you said out of Los Angeles, you're based, right?
yes, I'm
How
based in
long
Los
have you
Angeles right now.
been in that area?
I've been here for around 6 months. I moved here the summer of 2022. So yeah,
Oh, fairly new then.
yeah, pretty new.
Nice. How are you liking that?
It's pretty nice. I think I like it better than Boston so far because the weather's so much better and there's just so many more opportunities here for a photo.
Right. But I also feel like
Yeah,
in a place like Los Angeles, there's also a lot more like talented people that you're like kind of like
definitely.
either comparing yourself or you
Mhm.
know just I
Yeah,
follow a lot of people on Instagram that like are located in California, and I just see so many talented people in that area.
yeah, I definitely feel way more challenged here, but like that also helps like motivate me to
Mm-hmm.
better improve myself as a photographer. So that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, 100%. So you
Mhm.
primarily do concert.
Yes, I mostly do concert photography.
Okay, and how would you say you got into that?
It honestly was just like kind of on accident. I started like my in my last year of high school, I volunteered in a concert organizer back in Indonesia, and like they saw my portrait work before and they loved it, so they allowed me to just shoot like some of their shows. And since from that then on, I ended up just loving it and kept doing it when I was in college. And yeah, that's pretty much how I fell into it.
Okay, cool, cool. So what are like some of the I don't know, just give me like off of the top of your head a few artists that you've been super excited to have shot for.
Mm. Oh, this past year, I think one of my favorite artists I've shot for was Dua Lipa and Max. He puts on like an insane, incredible show.
Yeah, that's so cool. Whether it be like while you're actually shooting a show or maybe like the process to get to shoot a show, like what are some things that you think maybe you have had the most struggles with?
Mm, Probably just like getting most of the opportunities because either they completely ghost you or they respond to you. But like it used to be like maybe they maybe I get like 1 out of 10 responses from like all the stuff I've sent out, like emails I've sent out, but now it's increasingly become more consistent, which is way better for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just getting the opportunities itself and just building your way up is super difficult.
Right. And I think, just having, like you said, the opportunities is very difficult, especially for people that have not actually built a portfolio, because I find it
Yeah.
very hard to actually branch into a different field or start something without actually
Hmm.
having any sort of like anything to back you up in a sense, right? So
Yeah.
anything you would recommend to those people that maybe are wanting to start concert or maybe are wanting to start whatever it is that they're wanting to start, but specifically for us here, concert, What would you recommend to the ones that don't have much portfolio already like built in order to reach out to media companies?
I would recommend just shooting like small shows where they allow you to bring cameras in and then building your portfolio from there and then possibly joining like a music publication, like a small music publication or a publication from your school or something like that. I think that's like the easiest way to get into concert photography.
100% agree on that. I know a lot of people that have gotten to shoot shows just from different college opportunities, like you said, like
Yeah.
college publishings. So that's
Hmm.
also an option for people that may be in school or maybe in college. You know, always look into that if it's something that you're wanting to start. I had you send some of your photos here, and I just want to say your photos are incredible. Like awesome material.
Thank
I
you.
I had followed you on Instagram and I had just loved everything you've done, and it's like something about the way that
Thank
your
you.
photos just speak to me. It's like it's so like I don't know, it's I find it very different, and I like when I see different things because sometimes you just kind of scroll through Instagram or you scroll through some sort of topic and it's like basically all the same thing. So when I see something different, it's a little bit refreshing. It's a good feeling to have. And when I saw your stuff, I was like, this is so great. And so yeah,
Continue.
your work is absolutely amazing. Just had to say that.
I absolutely love your work as well.
I
Just
appreciate
saying.
that as well. Thank you so much. Let's talk about creative inspirations. Maybe there's people that you are inspired by, or maybe there's things you're inspired by. I know it's kind of like a very like thrown out there question that you're it's just kind of on the
Mhm.
spot, but like is there anybody or any person you're following or maybe just something that inspires you?
Um, I think I mostly get most of my like inspirations just scrolling down through Pinterest, honestly.
Mhm.
But like, if I had to pick one person I really admire, it would be probably Deanie Chen. She's an incredible concert photographer based in New York. And yeah,
Okay.
like she pays attention to like detail and like her slow shutter speed photos are amazing as well. She's
Right.
like a huge inspiration.
Awesome. I will definitely have to check her out as well. Because if somebody inspires somebody that I'm already inspired by, then that's something worth looking into. What has been something that you've been like, okay, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I would have never imagined myself doing this.
Probably meeting like the people I've been listening to like my whole life. Like when I met Max, it was just super surreal. I've been following his music since I was like in high school, so that was insane. And he's just like super nice, and he puts on like his energy whenever he's performing is insane. So that was super. That was like a super surreal moment for me, I think.
Right. Such a cool experience too. Like I remember when I first shot for John Bellion. Like John Bellion to me was like my you know, he still is my favorite artist, but like getting to see him live in itself was like surreal, and then just like being able to shoot the show was like crazy to me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely agree. I think when people talk to me about like what are some of the most memorable experiences you have is like I kind of say the same thing, like just being able to meet people that I like grew up listening to. It's pretty
Mhm.
intense, and it's like always something different. Like every show, I've also gotten the question like what has been your favorite show you've shot, or like you know, and it's hard to answer because every show has like its own like it's creative in its own way and it's different than every other show.
I love meeting like the photographers in the pit in every show as well. They're like
Hmm.
super talented.
Yeah, it's a good way of branching out as well. I talked to someone else about this same thing, and you know, having connections and building your business towards you know just in real life, like going up to people like in a photo pit or you know out on the street that you
Yeah.
see that maybe have a camera. Like that's a good way to really like brand yourself and like help your social media grow. I'm pulling up your photos here, and I saw some of the photos you took for. There's one in here. Is that the weekend? I think it's the weekend, right?
Oh yeah. The blurry one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tell us
that
about
was the
how it
weekend.
was for shooting for the weekend, like even just the show itself. That seems like a very cool artist to photograph.
An incredible performer. I shot him for I think it was oh no, it was Tongue Tied magazine. And uh yeah, it was super insane. I didn't think I would get approved to shoot that show, but like
Hmm.
once I got the approval email, I was just like super excited. And yeah, he went on and it was just insane.
Hmm.
He had like this mask on in like the first couple of songs, and it just looked like a whole performance, like a whole, like, theater performance. It was
Right.
absolutely insane. And yeah, his songs are I'm, like, a huge fan of his songs, so after, like, the first 3 songs, I ended up just staying and just watching the whole show.
Right. Who would you
Yeah.
say like is your favorite artist at the moment?
Honestly, probably Max.
Max. Okay, so you've shot for Max. I was wondering if there was like an artist that's like your favorite, or like maybe an artist you want to shoot for. Is there anybody on your goals slash somebody that you haven't shot for that you're like, I really would love to shoot for this artist?
Probably maybe Shawn Mendes. I really loved his Wonder tour. No, wait, was it Wonder? The one with like the big flower in the arena. That looked really
Yes.
cool. I really want to take pictures like of that.
I shot that one and I went to that one, which is interesting that you
Um,
say that because his performance was so cool. They had like the exploding confettis and like a whole bunch of like pyro. It was so nice.
So cool. I really want to get like a cool confetti shot so bad.
Mm-hmm. It's such a cool thing to have, especially as a photographer, because it just adds so much. Like, and it's also different when artists incorporate that because it's not just the regular I'm singing on stage thing. It's like, oh, there's confetti, there's pyro, there's smoke, there's different other things that like not a whole bunch of artists have, and when they do have it, it's like for photographers, it's like, okay, this is awesome. Go
His
ahead.
shows are like super emotional as well, I feel like.
Oh yeah, for sure. He has the that sort of intimacy with his crowd where he can just kind of connect, and like even though there's like some sort of like hype and like all this stuff going on, like he can stop for a second and like bring it back down and just, acoustically sing a song and make it feel,
Mhm.
cozy. I want to talk about your portrait stuff. I know that you do some portraits. Obviously it's not your main thing. How do you feel about your portraits?
I've honestly like recently this year I've been doing more portraits than concert photography because I really miss doing that. I started out photography with portraits, doing portraits, so I really want to get back into doing more of that. Yeah, I love doing portraits because you really get to connect with the subject way more than if you're concert, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like way more fun. You get to be way more creative with it.
100%. That's what I primarily do. I do concerts, also, but everything that I mostly post on my Instagram, for the most part, is creative portraiture, and that's my favorite thing to do. That's what I'm like very passionate about. So I was just
Mhm.
curious what it's good to hear you say that you've been trying to do a bit more of a creative portraiture, because I'm looking at this photo here that you sent me. Like, I don't know how long ago that was taken, but that is so cool. Like, just the concept of that and like the outfit,
It's the white backdrop, right?
white backdrop, red, like rocker jacket kind of thing. Yes.
That was super fun.
So sick. So is that like actual model, or just like, cuz like for me, I just like sometimes I just reach out to people, like whether they're like
Oh,
actual models or not. I just reach out and I'm like, let's do something creative.
she's actually like a small musician, and yeah, I was interning for this record label, and she was a part of it, so we ended up doing a photo shoot together, which was like super fun.
I feel like you have the talent to be able to do so many different things. If you just like even try to do it, I feel like you would kill it. Just based off the work that I've seen, like I said, your Instagram is just filled with a bunch of like super sick work.
Thank you so much.
Different. Oh, you shot for Billie Eilish too. I'm pulling this one up. How was that? Tell us
Yeah,
about the Billie Eilish experience.
that one was actually with a point and shoot because I went in just as a fan and I wanted to just
Okay.
take pictures just for fun. So I honestly I went in like I think it was like 30 minutes before she went on, so I was like pretty late, but surprisingly I got like a pretty good spot in the pit, and I
Mm-hmm.
ended up like pushing my way forward to like I think it was second row in like in front of the catwalk, which was super insane, and I love her performance. It was amazing.
Right. Yeah, I've just seen like a whole bunch of TikToks of like her performances, and I haven't been to a Billie Eilish concert, even like just to go or like to see, but I have really been wanting to. Here's the one. I think the this is Dua Lipa, right? She's wearing the yellow with the mic stand in her hand.
Yes, that one.
That shot has to be my all-time favorite of yours. I'm going to say right now, just
Thank you.
the symmetry starting from the middle of the image, and if you're watching this on YouTube, the images are on the screen. The symmetry starting from the middle of the image, just having like the red lines of the stage like go backwards into like right into her, which she's like right in the middle with the spotlight. Dude, what a fire shot! And there's like pink flamingos in the back too.
I was just like bursting my camera throughout that whole dance sequence just to
Mm-hmm.
get like as many shots as possible of her dancing right in the center because it looked super cool in person.
Right. When you saw this photo, like in post when you're editing this photo, like, did you know, like, okay, this is the one, or like was there some that maybe you thought were better than this? Because like in my opinion, I see this, I'm like, okay, this has to be the one, surely.
We knew it was the one. Even when I was just taking pictures, I knew that was the one.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just have that, like, you see it on your LCD and you're like, okay, this is it. But then other times,
Yeah,
like, you'll see it on your LCD and you throw it onto your computer when you get home, and it's like, oh, I'm out of focus. I'm out of focus, or like something happens, and it's like, no way.
that's the worst.
It is. I mean, just like looking at this, like the colors. This was at a stadium. It looks like a stadium, right?
The stadium.
The colors and everything in this image is absolutely amazing.
The lighting was amazing.
You can see like little like small lights pointing at her, and then the spotlight. Very, very cool image there.
Mm.
What are some like photography pet peeves? Some things that you don't like, whether it's like that people do, that maybe it's your own pet peeves. For example, I will give you mine, and I give this pretty much in every episode. I just hate when people like try to compete with other people.
Oh yeah, I hate that too, honestly. It's the worst whenever you meet someone like in the photo pit if they're like super arrogant about their work and just like
Hmm.
they clearly just want like a follow on Instagram or something like that. It's the worst.
Or
I
also
think
like
that
just a technical one, like seeing on my, like I said earlier, like seeing a photo on my LCD and then thinking it's the one, and then pulling it up and realizing it's out of focus.
honestly same. Or people who think that it's just like it's not that difficult getting into photography
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
there's
just like
quite a bit of those nowadays.
exactly.
It's like, oh, I can do that. Let me go pick up a camera. I can do what you're doing.
They think it's just shooting, but it's like hours of editing as well.
Oh, for sure. And even like just like for myself, since getting into content photography and realizing how many shots I take, like I get home and
Oh
there's
yeah.
like thousands of photos that I have to like narrow down to like my top 5, right? It's almost impossible.
And they usually want like a 1 or 2 day turnaround time, which is
Hmm.
insane.
And some of them are like, okay, give me something within 12 hours. And it's like, ugh, I'm getting home.
Yeah.
Like, usually, well, I have to drive quite a bit to go to the concerts that I shoot because there's not any in my exact city. So I have to drive about an hour
Oh,
and a half to 2 hours and a half. And so driving back home is like late at night. Just that alone is enough to like tire me out. I get home, I'm just like, okay, I need to sleep.
I've like edited in my car because of that.
No, that's just a little dangerous.
Oh no, no,
But
not while I'm driving.
oh, okay, I thought you meant like while you were driving.
No, of
I was
course
like,
not.
you're adding
Just like
yourself a little bit right now. So yeah, but like throwing it back to Los Angeles, I don't really know too many people personally out in
mhm.
Los Angeles. Like I said, I do follow quite a bit of people there, but that I actually know personally, I don't really know many people. Would you say living in Los Angeles and like working through content photography is like, do you think that's a good place to be for that, or do you really think it matters, like doing content photography and like how many opportunities you may get based on location?
I think you definitely get a lot more opportunities in LA, but it's definitely way more competitive than like any other cities. But yeah, definitely I think either LA or New York is the place to be for concert photography.
Right. Yeah. A lot of artists tend to, tour, and those are the must go to cities for, I mean, if not every artist. Tell us about like a moment that, I mean, and this is kind of like similar to what I asked earlier, but in a way it's a little different. Tell us about one of your most proudest moments or most proud accomplishments thus far.
Um, Probably one of my most proudest moments was when I got my first stadium show, when I got approved to shoot my first stadium show, which was 21 Pilots, I think. That was incredibly insane. I didn't think I would be able to get that far like super quickly.
Hmm.
So yeah, also shooting like my first festival this summer, which was pretty insane.
Nice. What festival was that?
Head in the Clouds Festival, which
Okay.
is a festival by 88 Rising.
Right, right. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I have not yet shot a festival, but that is also something on my bucket list for this year. Definitely looking into trying to get shoot a festival this year. It does seem like a very, very fun thing to do.
It is, but it's like super tiring because it's so many like sets and also the same amount of turnaround time, just like the day after, which is
Exactly.
impossible.
Yeah, I can't imagine, especially having to shoot all those artists.
Yeah.
What is something that you would say to people that are wanting to get started
For concert photography,
for concert photography? Yes.
whenever you're in the pit, just keep like maybe like ask the other photographers there and like make friends with them so that you can uh get more like connected and have a bigger network and get more opportunities. And also like I've learned a lot through YouTube videos, so definitely watch a lot of YouTube videos.
YouTube University is a big thing nowadays. I think it's very, very important to realize that like you can learn so many things just by watching a video. It's just all about like taking the time to do so.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I learned most of my editing through watching YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm. Right. Have you ever had the chance to like shoot for an artist like outside of like a show? Like, I mean, just like you and the artist, like, let's do a creative shoot just for fun.
Oh, yeah, I've done quite a few of those. Like recently, I shot for this small artist, Gabe James. He's like a super incredible, sweet person. We did like a shoot in, I think it was like an overlook up in the mountains in LA,
Mm-hmm.
and it was super fun. Yeah, we had a super great time.
I also
Mhm.
see that you shot for Joshua Bassett.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's so cool. So I used to be like, I guess I'm still a little obsessed with some of his songs. I was obsessed with his Crisis music video, and that was like the first song that like got me into it. And we were like gonna go into like relationship talk right here, but like you know how apparently Olivia like wrote a song about him, and then like his counter was like that song called Crisis, and I was like,
Oh, wait, really?
so yeah, so like she wrote a song. For those who don't know this whole like drama, TL spill it. Uh, Olivia Rodrigo like wrote that song about I think it's called Driver's License
Oh,
about
yeah.
him because like they like broke up or whatever happened there happened, and she wrote that song about him. And apparently like he was getting like death threats and like a whole bunch of different things were like going on behind the scenes because of that song, and like all
Wow.
her like fan base was like targeting him, right? And he was going through all that, and then he released a song called Crisis, which the music video is just color graded so perfectly. Like hearing that song like made me like just like get so inspired by so many different things. But yeah, that was his song. Like that was his song to like kind of respond to her song. And ever since
Mm.
hearing that, I've been like a massive fan because it's like, dude, that song was so good.
He is like super energetic and just like runs around the whole stage. It's
Yeah, yeah.
insane.
I think one of my favorite artists that I've shot for that has been very entertaining and has put on a show. I think as far as entertaining wise, like can put on a good show. I would say John Bellion 100% is one of them. Also, Point 92 puts on a fantastic show. I don't know if you've gotten the chance to see him live or shoot for him, but Quinn
And
92
him,
has an excellent show, like entertainment wise.
I really want to go to a show. I've only seen him like with, I think he was like a special surprise guest with Max, but
Hmm.
that's pretty much.
Yeah, his shows are, I mean, top notch. One of my favorite. There's also a kind of like an up and coming band, and they're not really that big just yet. Their name is Nightly. I don't know if you know about them, but
Heard of-
they have. That's probably like even though they're not the biggest artists, they have probably been my favorite like show ever. Like as far as like live music, the way that they actually sound live is like it's almost better than like hearing it in a like recording. I thought they were just that good, and I like to compare like how good an artist is live to how good their music is like on Spotify, just to kind of see like the difference, what auto tune does, stuff like that. But like their live performance was just I was speechless. It was just that good, and I just gained so much more respect for them just because of how good they actually like were live.
They opened for the Midnight, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah, that's when I saw them.
Mhm. I went late to that show, so I'm so sad I missed their performance.
Oh yeah, I've that's happened to me before. It's kind of the worst, especially when you like have already like the opener, who it is, and you're like kind of wanting to shoot for them, and you're just running late. It happened to me one time, and I like regret it for so long. I was supposed to shoot for Small Pools, which was the opener for Judah and the Lion, and I just missed their entire set, and I was so sad because I really did want to be able to not only just capture their show, but like see their show, because I haven't seen them live. And I was so excited, and I just like, I was running late, things were going on, and I didn't make it, and I also had to drive an hour and like 45 minutes to get there, and so I was so sad. I walked in and they were like literally on the last 30 seconds of their last song. Okay, so I just want to know, here's a couple of last questions to kind of end off this episode.
Mhm.
Something that you would tell your younger self. I asked this question to almost everyone because I'd like to know what it is that you would say to the person you were, say, you know, when you were growing up. What would you say to that person, knowing that you had the same visions, the same dreams to accomplish, and now maybe you've accomplished most of them, some of them? I don't know. What would you say to your younger self?
Probably appreciate all like the challenges that I've had to overcome, because without those I wouldn't be where I am today. And like appreciate all like the stress and all the um negative stuff that I've experienced, because that helped me grow into the person I am today and helped me like achieve more things in my career. Probably that.
Last question, and this question is done for every single person that will be on this podcast. Dreaming in red here means dreaming with intent, dreaming with passion. And I want to know, what are some things that you dream of accomplishing in 2023, this year? What are some of your goals? Talk to us about some of the things you want to achieve, whether it be, you know, personal, whether it be photography related. What are some of the things that you want to achieve?
Probably on the top of my head, probably go on tour this year. I really want to do that for the first time, and probably just direct like a few more music videos, because I love directing music videos as well.
Gotcha. Any like personal goals, like maybe outside of photography, like anything you're looking to improve on, maybe just yourself? I don't know, just something personal.
Um, Probably stress less, because like I get overwhelmed super easily, and get better at uh talking to people, because I have like bad social anxiety, especially during shows and
Mm-hmm.
meeting like a lot of people. Probably, yeah, getting better at like connecting and networking with people.
Right. That's also something that I'm trying to work on this year as well, is being able to branch out myself and not be shy to speak to somebody that I see, because like I said, it's a good way to connect, a good way to grow your following. And so sometimes I just gotta like learn how to not be as shy. I think that will wrap up this episode of Dreaming in Red. Thank you so much
Amazing.
for joining us. It
Of
really does
course.
mean a lot to us, and I hope everyone listening can take some sort of inspiration from this episode. Um, Elaine is such a talented person, and I was so excited to have her here and talk to her just about all the things that she's been doing and that she's going to continue to do. So thank you so much for, you know, giving us your time and allowing us to chat with you for a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
Lastly, I want you to plug your social media. Guys, if you're listening to this and you don't follow Elaine, you will not regret it. Let us know what your social media is. You can plug Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is that you have. This is your chance to plug it.
I only have Instagram. It's at Elaine Tantra. That's it. Yeah.
There you go. And last name is Tantra for all those who are listening on Spotify. On YouTube, your name will probably be up on the screen the entire time. But all you Spotify and Apple podcasts, that is how you spell it. Thank you guys once again for listening, everyone who tuned in to this episode. I will see you guys next week with a brand new episode covering the creative success of someone else. And Elaine, again, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Any last words you want to tell everybody who's listening?
I can't think of anything.
That's all right. That's all right. That's perfect. We'll end it with that. Lovely last words. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all your time spending here listening to this podcast. We are Hearts Cove. If you want to follow Hearts Cove, it is at Hearts Cove XO on Instagram, and my personal Instagram is at that Matthias Kid. If you guys would like to show some love there. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.